But these are speculative. We will not let go of the sufferings the citizens are going in transaction because of the scarcity of the notes.
Amaechi, actually, yes, the suffering continues, as some persons will say. You can't get the note, but some of us are getting used to cashless policy, and that is why we advocate that the POS is made available to even Okada and Keke Napep and taxi drivers, so that when you enter an Okada man, Keke, you can just swipe your ATM card and pay. But that also goes to the issue I was talking about on Friday, that the NCC need to be actively involved, the InterSwitch agent group need to be actively involved. When you travel abroad, Amaechi, you have used a dollar card, you just swipe. Nobody is checking whether you have seen. Have you seen a lot? Amaechi, have you seen a lot? No, nobody is doing that because the internet is swift. It's automatic. It's automatic. So going forward, CBN should begin to consider how to make the POS available. An Okada man can tie a POS machine to his Okada. Who says he cannot? Tie it there, and so that when I take Okada, I swipe and I collect it. I mean, on the issue of the governors, I'm very disturbed. The way and manner El-Rufai was saying that they should go ahead and use the old and new notes side by side is not convenient. I'm not at peace with it, because this can be very insightful. It's as if you are fighting somebody. It's a system, for heaven's sake. And he's saying, making comments like, yes, if we come in, if Tinubu and his government come in, we are going to change this policy. Yeah. For heaven's sake, for heaven's sake. This is a policy, and the CBN Act says every 5 years you can review or redesign or whatever on the Naira. So he should not incite this part of incitement. I mean, if you understand it very well, he's inciting his supporters against government policies. And I, for one, have a stand. Even if it's midnight, the chief executive has an idea, he should bring it up. He can bring it up.
All right. Amaechi, you see what most of these governors are doing is quite not okay for the country, for the development and progress of the country. If there's a new policy, what they should do is to make it work. Try as much as possible to see it work. Most of these governors are even the ones ordering this new Naira note. That's a fact. They are the ones.
Is it a fact?
It's a fact. We don't need to deny that. Yes.
No, that's what you're saying. Yeah, it doesn't make it a fact.
Okay. Let's just say allegedly. But if you really take a good look at it, where are the new Naira notes going to? Is it you and I? You told me last time on Friday you still couldn't get any Naira in your purse. So where is it going to? Is it the ones on the streets or Nigerians that are queuing under the sun for 10 hours, 12 hours to get just 5,000 Naira? Is it the people dying? Is it the man that died in Lagos for trying to get just 5,000 Naira? So where is this money going to? Let's be factual and let's be honest with ourselves. These governors are the problems. If you're saying you do not want a policy, then do something about it. Okay, what solutions have you preferred? Is it by saying, oh no, inciting people to say, oh no, don't stop using the old Naira notes, use the new Naira notes?
For instance, should they engage the CBN to open up more points where this money will be distributed?
And then of course, go to the banks and then ensure that these monies are being,
red banks instead of ready supermarkets.
Red banks. I don't tell people don't use
this. Not ready banks.
Let's begin with the word raid.
Please, let's get this right. It's not the duty of the governor to enforce a Supreme Court order. It's not. So a governor saying we're shutting down a shopping mall because they've not, it's not his job. If the Supreme Court has given an order and it's not obeyed, there are, guidelines as to how this contempt and all of those can be handled. A number of persons said, look, the CBN was not joined in this matter and all of that. But if it was the Attorney General and he said they are going to obey, and he's a party to this matter, it behoved on him to write to the CBN that, look, this is what the Supreme Court has said. And then the central bank will now write to the commercial banks. That is what is missing in all of this. Since the Supreme Court gave that order from available record, because even as at Friday, one of my banks sent me an email that, look, the collection stopped on that day.
Of the old
note, which means they had not received a circular from the central bank, which is how they received the first one and the extension.
So until the banks, the central bank to do the needful.
Until the central bank issues a further directive, a circular to the banks, they will be relying on the last communication they received from the Apex Bank on that particular issue. So that is the position, you know, as it stands.
If the order is not executed, the Supreme Court should hold the Attorney General of the Federation in contempt.
In contempt, clearly. Don't forget, over the weekend, the Supreme Court has also issued a statement, which is very rare, unlike it, warning people about the commentary and analysis they are giving on some of the judgments and some of the others it is given.
And that response from the CBN, from the Supreme Court, the language they employed is on Supreme Court line. They descended on Professor Berogi, abused him thoroughly, and I was asking myself, did this actually come from the Supreme Court? The language they employed, I don't think even a customary court would authorize that statement to be issued out.
Ideally, they should not have come down to that level until maybe issue of contempt and all of that brought to them, then they can deal with it. But it's part of what we are facing now, you know, as a country. What, like one of the listeners wrote, what is the way forward? The Council of State offered it. The APC presidential candidate has also offered it.
Print more money, allow the old ones to.
And that's what they said. Oh, and don't forget, some of us, I'm not sure there's anybody that has kicked against this policy that it should not. The issue now is the issue of the circulation, the money that is not available. And it's clear. The president, when he met with the APC governor, what did he say? He said he agreed to the redesign when the CBN told him that all of what the new council will be printed in Nigeria. That was the condition he gave them. So, and there were also reports that, look, the CBN governor told the Council of State that, you know, they don't have the capacity, though the CBN has issued a statement denying that and all of that. But most of us have raised the issue. If the CBN had withdrawn over 2.something trillion from the, in circulation, and they're bringing only 300 billion, because one Erufai said that the CBN has not denied it. So, which means it's true that they've printed only 300 billion, and that is the cause of the problem.
So, they have accepted they will print more. They have the speed with which they are to print it.
Using the local facility is a challenge. Okay. So, they're moving forward. If it means printing outside this country, that is what we need to do moving forward. But I won't, for instance, agree that the new and the old should go together. We have moved past that stage. So the issue.
Perhaps those that have it stored somewhere wants it to be.
They should take it to the central bank and exchange.
Well, I think they have the 17th of this month to do that.
Yes. Well, I'm enjoying the new champions of the people, the defenders of the people, those that didn't defend the people when Indomie, when foodstuff were being hidden in warehouses. The federal government, the private sector contributed money to save the lives of the people. They kept quiet. They didn't defend the people. All of a sudden, we welcome more people, yes. Maybe this policy will bring out the human rights tendencies of some politicians to defend the people more. We welcome them. Let them join us in defending the people.
Amechi, but you know what? Whether they like it or not, whether the new or old, this election must.
It has to hold. Thank you so much. Join us tomorrow for another edition. Have a good time.
We got 3 minutes on a Monday morning.
Sorry.